What's up, you guys? My name's John Camacho, and this is Between the Pylons. I'm coming at you with a quick video. Well, I don't know what I'm going to make this. Probably an audio, probably a podcast, probably a video. I don't know. I don't really have anything that I wanted to write about this week. I wanted to watch the preseason games, and I'll probably come out with something based on all the preseason games, maybe like just my reactions to everything. But I did want to bring out or put out some kind of content this week. So I updated my rankings, and while there's not a lot of changes, I did want to go through, talk about the changes. I might actually do. I think I will make this a video, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're gonna go through. I'm just gonna talk about kind of some of the rankings, where I'm at with some players, and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna start off with the Melvin Gordon situation. I don't have to tell anybody about the fact that he is holding out, and it looks like it's most likely going to go into the season, which is something we probably already knew. Like, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I probably would have said, yeah, he's probably not playing week one. I let my rankings reflect that now. I put him as the 46th overall ranking. He's in my tier 5. That's with guys like other running backs in that tier: Sony Michel, Derrick Henry, Marlon Mack, Chris Carson. And I think that's about where you should be drafted. Obviously, the upside is huge, but you're probably only getting, 6 to 8 games, depending on how many he has to play to accrue a full year. I would guess that he comes in halfway through the season, just in case injuries happen and he could get nicked up and miss a couple games, and then he wouldn't accrue a full year if he did that. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but I mean, he's got to play the game. This isn't a Le'Veon Bell situation where he can just not play the entire season and then be a free agent. He's still under contract. Like, he's under contract to make $5 million and some change this year. And if he doesn't play this year, he'll be under contract next year. So that's not going away. He has to play. He's not going to make all that money back, but he has to play, and then he'll force himself out of LA and hopefully get the payday that he's wanting. But we'll see how that goes. Moved him back. He was originally, in the tier 3, number 25. Another running back, Nick Chubb. I moved him up. Nick Chubb is a guy I'm probably not going to get in a lot of drafts because I'm lower on him than most other guys. I think Nick Chubb, he's a good running back. I know I didn't have him very high coming into the draft. I was wrong about that. I've owned that many times. But I do accept that he is a good running back. I just don't know about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt comes back after an 8-game suspension, and he's been making noise in camp. Like, guys in Browns camp, they're talking about, oh man, we get this guy back in week 10, I think. So we don't know what's going to happen. And to me, I really just can't see paying a top 20 pick on a guy. I don't know what happens at the end of the year. The last 8 games. Like, do I want my running back 1 potentially to become the backup in week 10, week 11 when I'm trying to push for a playoff run and a championship run? I really don't want that. I'd rather put that on somebody else. Now, if Nick Chubb plays an entire season, great. That's awesome. And, somebody will reap the rewards of that. But there are other running backs that have similar workloads that don't come with that kind of risk, and I would rather grab those guys ahead of them. So I did move him up. I put him ahead. I put him in the tier 3. So he's ahead of Leonard Fournette. He's ahead of Damian Williams, Aaron Jones. These are running backs I really like. So that is saying a lot. He is not ahead of Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook. I couldn't take Nick Chubb over James Conner. Even Ezekiel Elliott, who has the issues with not playing until he gets a contract, I'm just not as concerned about the Cowboys because I know in week 3, if the Cowboys are missing Ezekiel Elliott, Jerry Jones is going to pay Ezekiel Elliott. And they've already given him the second highest paid running back offer. And Zeke's not going to accept that. He wants number 1. He wants to blow out the number 1 spot. he's going to end up getting it. I do believe that, and I'm just not as concerned. I would probably take Zeke ahead of Chubb because of the upside, of course. Even guys like Todd Gurley, I understand there's risk, but I'd rather have the guy that I know is an elite runner. No one could argue that Todd Gurley isn't better than Nick Chubb. And yeah, I don't know his timeshare, but I know he's an elite runner. I know when push comes to shove, the Rams are going to use Todd Gurley over anybody else on that roster when they need the yards, you know. But we'll move on. That's kind of a rant that I've been saying all offseason. Tevin Coleman, in my rankings, he's still not as high as I think he needs to be. A starting running back for the Kyle Shanahan offense deserves to be pretty high. I moved him up to tier 6. And the only reason he's not higher is just because what do we know? We don't really know anything. Yeah, I think he's a starting running back. Yeah, I think he'll keep that job the rest of the season. But Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida, and McKinnon are all kind of the same guy. And not exactly the same, I understand that. But they're all in the same mold of running back, and you just don't know. I just don't know how that situation is going to unfold. There is risk. I have them behind guys like Devontae Freeman and Tariq Cohen. And I know that sounds crazy, Devontae Freeman in a tier 6. I'm just not high on him. I don't trust him. I don't trust the injury. I think he's gonna take a step back this year. And I could be wrong about that. I've kind of punted Devontae Freeman up to this point. But, that is what it is. That's just my own personal bias, maybe. But back to Tevin Coleman. I think the upside for Tevin Coleman is insane. And where I have him ranked is still a lot higher than where he's going in most drafts. So Tevin Coleman's kind of the sneaky player that I think is going to be a starter right away and could end up holding on to that job for the rest of the season. Yeah, we don't know that. But spending a 6th-round pick, 7th, 5th-round pick in that range on a guy who's a starting running back for Kyle Shanahan's offense just doesn't sound that bad to me. Moving on, we got Kenyon Drake. Of course, you guys know I'm a huge Dolphins fan. Had to move Kenyon Drake down. I'm still in love with the talent. I've always been a Kenyon Drake believer, but I've always said around draft season for the past 2-3 years, he just doesn't get the workload, and I don't know why. I don't know what his issue is, but he doesn't. And Kalen Ballage, he's the next man up. I mean, that's just all you can say. So I had to move him up, and I moved Kenyon Drake down. That's something I probably should have done a while ago. Nothing big there. Here's one. I found myself realizing that I am way too high on rookie wide receivers, rookie tight ends too, maybe. So I moved Paris Campbell and DK Metcalf down. This started because DK Metcalf and Paris Campbell have had some injury issues. DK had a knee scope and is expected to play week 1, but I'd be shocked. And Paris Campbell had just some minor injuries maybe a week and a half ago. But I've kind of looked back and you realize not a lot of wide receivers in their rookie year perform high level, and they just don't. So I feel like of course you see it all the time with running backs, but wide receivers, it's just tougher. So I kind of did that with a lot of my rankings. I looked at guys that are in their second year on good teams, bumped them up a little bit, and then I took the rookie wide receivers that I've been high on, Paris Campbell and DK Metcalf, brought them down, brought N'Keal Harry down. I brought, of course, Josh Gordon is in there. I put him like, I don't know, it's tough. You don't know if he's going to play the full season. At this point, you can't really project that he's going to play the full season. I put him right there in that tier 5 area. I just don't see myself being in the 5th round, 4th, 5th round, needing a wide receiver, looking at guys like Allen Robinson, Julian Edelman, Cooper Kupp, Rodney Anderson, looking at that tier of receiver and saying, nah, I'm going to take them over Josh Gordon. I can't see myself taking those guys over Josh Gordon. I just can't, because the talent is so superior. Moving on, I've really liked what I've seen out of Alexander Mattison. This is the 3rd round pick for the Vikings running back. He is, of course, the backup to Dalvin Cook. Excuse me. But I mean, we know Dalvin Cook hasn't played a full season yet, and of course, this is only his third year, so maybe that's not fair to say. But the team spent a third round pick on a running back after spending a second round pick 2 years ago. So I have to believe that there is some fear there. And I mean, Alexander Madison has been killing it in preseason. He's had great rave reviews over the camp process, all that. And I ended up moving him up. I put him on the list because I didn't originally even have him on the list. I put him on the list. I put him in that range where it's like, man, it might not end up being anything, but this is a guy that you should draft and stash. I mean, it feels like a guy that can have a big year, and if he does, you're gonna be real happy he's on your team, obviously. Um, uh, this is a minor move. I moved all of my tier two running backs. Excuse me, sorry. I moved all my tier two running backs to the bottom of tier two. It doesn't really sound like much. It really isn't much. I just kind of kept looking at it and realized, man, I like the wide receivers at the top of the draft more than I like the running backs. Now, of course, you have the big four: Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, and Alvin Kamara. Really, the big three. Those three are a notch above everybody else. And then I have Le'Veon Bell in there at the number 4 spot. And then it's just wide receivers. I have a list of wide receivers. And then my tier one rounds out with DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, and Michael Thomas. That's my entire tier one. And then in tier two, I originally started it out with, David Johnson, Josh Jacobs, and Todd Gurley. I've since moved that, put them at the back of tier one, put them as solid round two guys, put Odell Beckham, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Juju Smith, and Julio Jones all in that first round mold, that those top 12 picks. Now, obviously, more running backs are going to go. I know that. I know that my rankings don't match the way the draft's going to go in anybody's draft, but it's not meant to. It's what I believe. It's the value that I see. I see more value at the top of the drafts with the wide receivers, and I see a lot of value with the running backs. I don't see a huge difference. I just don't. I don't see a huge difference between Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Nick Chubb. They all come with their upside. They all come with question marks to me. Those guys are bunched together. I don't see a huge difference between David Johnson, Josh Jacobs, and Todd Gurley. They all come with upside and immense upside, and they all come with question marks. I mean, and really for me, I don't have any question marks about Josh Jacobs, but he's a rookie, so I understand that I can't put him in the top 5 just because I like him, just because I think he's going to be good. I have to be a little bit more, respectful of the fact that he is a running back we don't know for sure. Or excuse me, he is a rookie and we don't know for sure. I know I put him in that tier 2, and that might surprise a lot of guys. Maybe I should talk about that next. Josh Jacobs is going to be the bell cow. To me, this is a similar situation as Saquon Barkley last year. Everyone knew what Saquon was going to be, and now Saquon is immensely more talented than Josh Jacobs is, in my opinion. But Josh Jacobs is incredibly talented too, in my opinion. I think he went to a situation where he is going to be the bell cow running back. There's no doubt about that. He is going. I mean, he's already talked about how the coaches have said he should be rookie of the year because they're going to run his ass. I would be absolutely shocked if we're going into next season he is not a top 5 pick in fantasy football. So if that is my projection, I'm going to stick with it. So I've been targeting Josh Jacobs a lot in drafts. It's somebody that I just I'm going to take him before you do, and I'm going to be comfortable with it, and that's fine. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That is what it is. I moved T.Y. Hilton down a little bit. I've been so immensely high on T.Y. Hilton, higher than most people. I know I have him higher than even now that I moved him down. I have him higher than where he's probably going to go, but I still believe Andrew Luck is going to play. I still believe T.Y. Hilton is going to have a career year, and that's saying a lot for T.Y. Hilton. But we haven't seen Andrew Luck healthy this season yet, so there is some questions there. I find myself looking at guys like Phil Lindsay and thinking, man, I I must love him more than anybody else. Philip Lindsay must just be one of those guys that I absolutely love, because I do not see a reason why he shouldn't be a third round pick, and I just can't take him out of that third round. Um, he's not going in the third round in most drafts. I'm probably going to end up getting him later. I'm pretty good with playing the ADP game and getting guys based on value. If there's another guy in this tier that's going in this tier in most drafts, I'll take him and then take Phil Lindsay in the next round. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think he should be going the third round, and I don't really see why he isn't. Phil Lindsay is the first guy who is on my rankings that isn't an obvious workhorse back. So anybody who I have as a workhorse back, or I'm projecting to be a workhorse back, is ahead of him. Kerryon Johnson, they're saying isn't going to be a workhorse back. I just don't believe you. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. I think he should be. I think he will be. Maybe not the first game, maybe not the second game, but by the end of the season, he's putting up 20 snaps a game. I just believe that. Aaron Jones, same way. I believe he'll be the workhorse. Damon Williams, they're saying is the workhorse. That's one I don't even really believe, but I have to have him above it because that's what they're saying, and I have no real reason not to believe. But more on him later. Philip Lindsay, I still have him as he's at number 35. I moved him back just a little bit because I do recognize that maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Dude's explosive. Dude has legit receiving skills. To me, he's on a better offense with Joe Flacco, and that sounds really weird to say, but Joe Flacco's better than Keenum, right? And Freeman didn't do anything last year, and I haven't seen really anything in preseason to tell me, oh yeah, Freeman's legit now. I just don't see it. Maybe I hit gold on him last year. I got him in a couple different leagues off waivers after the first week, and I rode him all season. He was my starter all season, and it felt really good. But to me, in the third round, back of the third, top of the fourth round, in that area, he's your running back 2, right? Probably. He's your running back 2, and I don't have a problem with him being your running back 2. Would you like him to be your flex? Yeah, he's probably going to end up being my flex because I'm going to get him later in drafts, but I have no problem with him being a running back 2. He's a good running back. I don't really get the hate on him, and I haven't really been able to find anything that's explained it to me anyway. But I mentioned Damian Williams earlier. I'll kind of go on him next. Damian Williams is not somebody I trust to be a workhorse back. He's not somebody that I think will play 16 games consistently. But that's what the Chiefs are saying. Andy Reid's always kind of done that, even though there were reports that they were going to do a timeshare backfield. That's what they're saying. He was that last year, but to me, he was only that because of legal issues that got Kareem Hunt cut and injuries to the starter. So Damian Williams didn't earn anything to me. Now, I am a big Damian Williams fan. He's an ex-Dolphin. I'm a big Dolphins fan, so I remember Damian Williams back in the day always seeming to have just the explosion that nobody else had, and thinking, man, we should really get this guy the ball more. Of course, he goes to the Chiefs. They're getting him the ball a lot. But I'm lukewarm on Damian Williams. I have him in the third round. I'm not going to get him there. He's going early second in a lot of drafts, and that's just a lot to me. And I get why it makes sense for most people, but I just don't think Damian Williams is just one of those guys. Like, are you excited to take Damian Williams in the second round? I'm not. And I know I let my rankings kind of reflect my biases sometimes. Hopefully I'm honest about them and I can say, hey, this is a bias that I have, and maybe that's what that is. I just don't see it. Maybe it's a gut feeling. I feel like I've been right about a lot of things like that before, so hopefully I'm right on this too. With that being said, if I have Damian Williams lower, I have to have somebody else that maybe I like more. That is the case here. Darwin Thompson, a 6th round pick. Yes, we are officially in the weeds, and I think this will probably be one of the last guys I talk about. Darwin Thompson is a 6th round pick out of I don't even know where, and I should know that, I guess, but He only played D1 college school, or excuse me, he only played D1 college for one season. He is 5'8", and he looks it. Like, he looks small on film. And, I mean, he runs like he's got a rocket up his ass. He really does. Love the speed, love the agility. I love everything that he can do, and I think he fits the mold really well. So this is somebody, Darwin Thompson's not being drafted in a lot of leagues, and I don't really even suggest drafting him unless you have a deep bench. But a lot of the drafts that I play in, or a lot of the fantasy leagues I play in, have deep benches. So Darwin Thompson is definitely somebody that I'll be looking into. For all you guys that are in my league and possibly listening to that, just know, coming for him, and please don't take him ahead of me. Yeah, I think that's it. There's, of course, I mean, there's so much to talk about. Darius Geis, I could see making a big jump. I haven't had a chance to watch his film. I know he played in the preseason week 3. If I see that and love it, I might move him up. I'm not gonna lie. I've been high on Darius Geis since before his injury, since LSU. So if I see that and I like it, he might go up. AJ Green, I bumped up. I've had him so low. I still have him really low. I have him in the 6th round, which he's probably going to be gone before then still. But, I mean, he's just a guy who's been injured a lot. I can't really put him any higher than he already is. But I do like him. I am excited. It's AJ Green. If you can get him for the second half of the season, that's really awesome. A couple late round tight ends I'm really excited about. Austin Hooper, I think, could have a big season. I think this is I'm predicting this breakout year for Austin Hooper, and I hope I'm right on that. Another one, Jared Cook, of course, with the Saints. Everyone's heard the buzz on that, hopefully. We'll see. I've heard a lot of buzz from the Saints tight ends before, so I really do have to see it to believe it. I'm not going to overdraft on a Saints tight end. If he's there in the 8th, 9th round, I really like him. But if not, I can live with that. Hunter Henry, another projection that we just, I think a lot of the fantasy community just loves Hunter Henry, and I'm no different. I'm a big fan. I bought into the Kool-Aid. That's not a thing. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. I should end this before I say stupid shit like that, but here we are. LaShawn McCoy, I'm out on LaShawn McCoy. I have him in the 6th round. I don't really even know where he's going in drafts. I haven't paid a lot of attention to LaShawn McCoy. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just think this is his last season. He's not somebody I want. I remember last year when he was going in like the 1st and 2nd round, I'm like, oh God, no, you guys can have him. I'm good. This is an old running back on a kind of okay team. Back then, I don't even think they were a good team. Now I think they're a good team. But last year they weren't. I mean, you couldn't be excited about that offensive line then. I have Devin Singletary for the Bills ahead of LaShawn McCoy. I'm projecting that Devin Singletary takes the starting job. I just believe that will happen. So he's in that same Tevin Coleman, Darius Geis range where it's like, okay, yes, there is risk, but there's legit upside too. We can talk a little bit on rookie running backs, just to touch on that real quick. Miles Sanders, I'm very high on. I moved him up into the 5th round, or excuse me, the 4th round, I believe. He keeps killing it in camp. You haven't really seen a lot in preseason, and that's just kind of a trend that good teams do now, and you have to accept that it's all projection. So it's good if you're right, and it sucks if you're wrong. That's pretty much how it works, because you're going to spend high draft capital on a guy that you really haven't seen much of. But, you gotta take your shots. You're playing to win, not to get second place. Another guy I'm really high on, somebody I'm hoping I'm right on. This is the guy that I'm banging the floor for, as I said in podcasts with Jacob a couple weeks back when we were talking fantasy football. The rookie running back for the Bears. I'm so excited for him. David Montgomery, excuse me, I lost his name for a second. David Montgomery, he's a guy I have in the 2nd round. I'm not scared to take him in the 2nd round. He's been killing it in camp. All you hear are rave reviews. I think he could be a 3-down back for the Bears. I really do. That's scary to say. That I understand the downside there. I understand that yeah, he might not be. I think he can be, and I'm just so hopeful in him because his talent is immense, and I really believe in it. I think I officially have him as the first pick in the third round, just because I can't really take him over guys like Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, and Nick Chubb. But in all reality, those three guys are probably gone by the time we get to the bottom of the second, which is where I have all those guys, just because, we already talked about that. I have various reasons I'm a little bit lower on those guys than maybe I should be. But yeah, guys, that was a quick rundown of some of the guys that I'm thinking about, some of the changes I've made with my fantasy rankings. Of course, you can go check out the rankings online at betweenthepylons.com. But yeah, guys, hit me up. Let me know what you think. I'm at Between Pylons on Twitter. I am going to put this on YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, follow me at Between Pylons. Check out the podcast. Like and subscribe to the podcast every week. Me and Jacob put out about an hour length of just really fun football talk. We really get into different topics. We have a lot of fun, joke around. A lot of silly humor, I would say. And then of course things like this. This is gonna be on the podcast as well. This is just a little extra video or extra audio clip or extra episode, I guess, that I'm gonna put on there. And I've been rambling, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna catch my breath. Thank you guys so much again, and we'll see you next time.